kind of what I was thinking.
It's Varsity Quiz Bowl, and today, Dawn Lane, Pat Staves, Albert de Baroncelli, and Mike Thornhill from Clifton, Ganus will meet in a battle of quick recall. Randolph Cousins, David Lima, Joseph Spiza, and Leon Quark from Bonnabel High School. The alternate from Ganus is John Carter, and the coach, Douglas Hudson. And the alternate from Bonnabel is Michael Lott, and the coach, Harry Hancock. And now, here's our moderator, Mel Levitt.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, and welcome once again to Varsity Quiz Bowl. Before we begin, let me introduce our judge for today, Dr. Ann Akers. Today and every day, I should say. Ann's been with us for 2 years now and does an excellent job. Our scorer, of course, is Phyllis Hartley, who's been a part of Varsity Quiz Bowl since the beginning of the show here on WYES, Associate Director of Records at the University of New Orleans. And our recognizer is Cliff Beal, a student at Loyola and an intern at WYES. Nice hearty round of applause for these three folks. And, of course, that goes, too, for Ganus and for Bonnabel. They both won games already to advance to the second round of play in our elimination tournament. So without any further ado, as they say on television, here we go. Got a face-off. We're leading up to an audio lanyap. Face-off is this. What is the name for a well drilled deep enough to reach water that is draining down from higher surrounding ground above the well so that the pressure will force the flow?
Thornhill. Artesian.
Artesian is correct, and Ganus is on the board. Pick up 10 points with a shot at 20 more on this audio lanyap. Ganus, the piece you're about to hear is by an American composer who became famous for his musical comedies, popular songs, symphonic works, and a folk opera. Right now, I'd like you to listen to the music, and then we'll ask 2 questions. Listen. With that musical clue, the questions are these. First, who is the composer?
Gershwin.
Correct, George Gershwin. Second, what's the name of that piece of music?
Designate to Mike.
Sure.
Best You Is My Woman.
No, this is a prelude number 2 in C-sharp minor, but you picked up 10 more points. Ganus. Next face-off is leading toward a lanyap at 20 points, team. This man was 80 years old a week ago Monday. 80 years old. He had the gift of elevating trivia to art. For 10 points, name is well known.
Ganus Thornhill.
Fred Ellsworth.
No, afraid not. We'll repeat now its entirety. For Bonnabel, you must ring for recognition, no consultation. This man was 80 years old a week ago Monday. He had the gift of elevating trivia to art. For 10 points, name this well-known violinist.
Bonnabel Cousins.
Paganini.
No, this was Jascha Heifetz. Jascha Heifetz. Another face-off. For 10 points, in what country would you find the following cities? Alexandria, Heliop.
Bonnabel Spiza.
Egypt.
Correct. 10 points. I had 4 more cities I was going to throw at you. Heliopolis, Memphis, Luxor, Aswan, all in Egypt. All right, Bonnabel, you're on the board with 10. Have a chance to go ahead if you can pick up all 20 points on this one. The standard of currency for the United States is the dollar. In England, it's the pound. For 5 points each, name the standard of currency for each of the following nations. First, Guatemala.
Peso.
No, they use what they call the quetzal or quetzal. Switzerland.
Swiss mark.
No, Swiss franc. Swiss franc. Number 3 is Greece.
Drachma.
Correct. Portugal is the escudo. Escudo. But you picked up 5 more points, Bonnabel, and you've tied. 15 all in the early going of this game between Bonnabel and Ganus. We have another face-off. We're leading up now to a lanyap of 25. The original Declaration of Independence could be found today in Washington, D.C. For 10 points, in what building is it?
Ganus stays.
National Archives.
Correct, you are. Put you back in front with 25 points in all, and here's a chance to add 25 more on this lanyap. It's almost baseball time again. So I'm going to give you 5 points for each of the first 5 members of the Hall of Fame that you can name. The first year of the Hall of Fame, 5 members were voted in. Who were they back in the mid-30s? Didn't necessarily play in the mid-30s.
God, Ruth Wagner, Mathewson.
In fact, they couldn't to be eligible except for one. All right?
Babe Ruth,
Right.
Honest Wagner, Christy Mathewson, Ty Cobb.
And one more. One more. Take a shot. It was Walter Johnson. But you got 4 of the 5, which is pretty darn good. 20 points for... The other one was Walter Johnson, a famous fastball thrower for the Washington Senators of days gone by. Another face-off. We're going for Lagniappe at 30. Ludwig van Beethoven wrote 3 Lenore overtures in an opera called Fidelio. For 10 points, tell me, what is the relationship between the two characters?
Ganus Thornhill.
They are the same person.
That's exactly right. Lenore and Fidelio were both the same person. We have a Lagniappe of 30, Ganus. Witchcraft and interest in witches have enjoyed a rebirth of interest in the past decade, I guess you could say. Witches are to be found in many places in man's history, his myths, his literature. Now, for 10 points each, identify the following. First, the biblical witch who called Samuel from his death was called what? Anyone? That was the Witch of Endor. Secondly, either of the bad witches in The Wizard of Oz.
Griselda.
Griselda. No, I don't believe so. Wicked Witch of the West and the Wicked Witch of the East, and I can't even get it straight. Wasn't one of them Glinda?
Glinda the Good.
Glinda was the good witch, of course. The others were
they
just
had
bad
names.
and badder. Pardon the grammatical error. All right, the chief witch who appears in Macbeth was named what in Macbeth? People often read the play, see it, don't realize the name of the witch was Hecate. H-E-C-A-T-E. All right, we'll move on to another face-off. No, I don't think we will. That buzzer indicates that we're going to move instead into a rapid-fire round. As you know, in rapid-fire, ask the questions as quickly as they're answered. If you answer correctly, it's 10 points. If it's incorrect, it's a -5, and there are no second answers or referrals as you find in face-offs. So it's question, answer, etc., on down to the end of the 2-minute countdown round. Okay, this rapid fire will be concerned with people, places, and things, all of which begin with the letter A, and all of which are based on general knowledge. A is the key in this one. All right, here we go. A group of Portuguese islands in the North Atlantic.
Bonnabel Lima.
Azores.
Correct. Sweden's most profitable export group.
Ganus Lane.
ABBA.
That's right. The musical group. The capital of Jordan.
Bonnabel Spiza.
Amman.
Right. Ash-colored substance from sperm whales used in some perfume.
Bonnabel Lima.
Ambergris.
Correct. Either of a pair of genes located at the same position on either of a pair of genes, often arising through mutation. That's a mouthful. They're called alleles or alleles. Medical term for a wasting away, especially of body tissue or an
Ganus Thornhill.
Atrophy.
Correct. An instrument for measuring the speed of the wind.
Bonnabel Cousins.
Anemometer.
Correct. French term meaning up to date is au courant. An assistant to a commanding officer is...
Bonnabel Spiza.
Adjutant.
We'll accept that. It's a little off in pronunciation. Same idea, or aid. A compound from which water has been removed is called what?
Bonnabel Laporte.
Anhydrous.
Correct. The 11th sign of the zodiac is...
Bonnabel Cousins.
Aries.
No, it's Aquarius. Aquarius. Scottish phrase meaning old times.
Ganus Thornhill.
Old Lang Syne.
Correct. 6th century BC, Greek poet and dramatist.
Bonnabel Spiza.
Androcles.
No, this was Aeschylus. A plume of feathers worn as a head ornament is known as an aigrette. A-I-G. November 11th, former name of Veterans Day.
Bonnabel Spiza.
Armistice Day.
Correct. In music, moderately slow and even, but faster than adagio.
Ganus Thornhill.
Andante.
Correct. Unselfish concern for the welfare of others is?
Ganus Staves.
Altruism.
Correct. A universally accepted principle or rule is an axiom. Chemical name for vitamin C.
Ganus Thornhill.
Ascorbic acid.
Correct. Greek goddess called Diana by the Romans.
Ganus Thornhill.
Artemis.
Correct. And thus ends our first half and, of course, our rapid fire. Still have a close game here. Clifton Ganus leading 125-75 over Bonnabel, but an entire half yet to go. We'll be back in just a moment, so stay tuned.
I'm Gene Siskel, co-host of Sneak Previews, your weekly guide to the new movies in town.
And I'm Roger Ebert. Next time on Sneak Previews, we'll review 5 new films, including Fort Apache, The Bronx, starring Paul Newman as a battered cop, The Devil and Max Devlin, a comedy with Bill Cosby, and The Incredible Shrinking Woman, starring Lily Tomlin as a miniature housewife.
So join us for reviews of these movies and more next time on Sneak Previews.
We'll continue playing the second half in just a moment, but right now we thought it'd be interesting to talk to the various contestants about their future plans. We'll start with Ganus, and over here in the end, Dawn Lane.
I plan on going to Lock Haven State College in Pennsylvania and majoring in physical education.
Physical ed? Well, you going to teach later on, or?
I hope to.
Well, that's excellent. Good luck, Dawn. How about you, Pat?
Well, I haven't decided on college yet, but I plan to major in economics or management, probably.
Any idea what school?
No, not yet.
You're going to leave your options open. How about you, Albert? You're a freshman, I believe, which is unusual on this show.
I haven't really thought about college yet much because it's a long way off, but I'd like to go into engineering or a related field.
Right. Mike, you're a veteran on this program, and you've done quite well. What are your future hopes?
Well, pre-medicine is still definitely what I'm going to major in. And LSU is still open, but I'm considering Tulane as well.
Excellent. I want to wish all of you a great deal of luck, and that goes for Ganus, too. Thanks a lot. Clifton, Ganus. It's an unusual situation with Bonnabel in that we have 4 members from last year's starting team all back again. And we're going to start with Randolph Cousins.
I plan to go to LSU, major in chemical engineering, and do some computer science.
Very good. David?
I plan to go to LSU, too, and major in mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering. Of course, you're graduating, I believe, aren't you?
Yes.
All right. How about you, Randall? Randall?
Yes.
Both graduating.
Yes.
Joseph, are you a graduate this year?
Yes, sir. I'm planning on going to Loyola University and major in pre-law with some political science in there.
Very good. Leon, you're a junior, I think.
Yes,
What are your plans?
I'm really not too certain, but I'm considering medicine. I'm not sure about the college either.
Well, good luck at any rate. And once again, Bonnabel, it's great having you with us. Bonnabel High School. And I think we're about ready to go now and play in the second half. My prehensile tail over here. I'm dragging a mic cord about 80 feet long, it seems. All right, ready to go with the second half? We're leading up to a lanyard of 30 points now. And we're going to begin with this visual face-off. So we have monitors to my right and left facing you on each side. The lines at WGSO radio from 1 to 4 each day. Stay busy with sincere...
Jane Stennett.
Well, how did you guess that? I barely even gave you a description. We didn't show her picture. Jane Stennett, that's right. A very popular lady who's a psychotherapist. And could we show her picture there before we leave here? Dr. Jane Stennett has pioneered a kind of community psychotherapy program, which is really a warm, homespun fashion sharing of problems and some possible answers. That's Dr. Jane Stennett. 10 points. Bonnabel. Wow. All right, you've got a lanyard of 30 points coming up. The Red Sea is unique, geologically and biologically speaking. It seems to be a new ocean in the first stages of formation and contains the northernmost coral reefs in the world. For 5 points apiece, name the countries that border on the Red Sea. I'll give you a little time to consult here. I'm sorry?
Israel.
Continue.
Egypt. Saudi Arabia. Jordan.
All right. Any more there?
And Ethiopia.
Ethiopia is correct. We got Ethiopia, Egypt, Saudi Arabia.
Israel is correct.
And Israel, that's 4. The others, and actually there are 7, I believe, in all. Sudan, Yemen, and Somalia. And we might have accepted 8, but you got 4, and that's 20 points. Not bad on a tough question like that. Especially, as I pointed out before, when you don't have a map as a reference point. Here's another face-off. We're going for a lanyard at 20 points. In Greek mythology, Odysseus and his men encounter a race of people who eat a plant which makes them content and which makes the Greek sailors forget their
Ganus,
homes.
Thornhill.
The Lotus Eaters.
That's right. They were the Lotus Eaters. The plant is the lotus. That's the title. They lose all ambition and became putty in the hands of others. All right, another lanyard at 20 points. We all know that your weight depends on the force of gravity, so you would not weigh the same in other parts of the solar system. For 5 points apiece now. To within a plus or minus 5 pounds. Tell me how much a person weighing 100 pounds on Earth would weigh on the following planetary bodies? The moon, within a plus or minus 5.
16.
That's exactly right. 16 pounds. Venus, 100 pounds on Earth. On Venus, within a plus or minus 5, it would be what?
120.
No, it would be 85. 85 pounds. And finally, Mars.
Mars. Is that more or less?
Mars.
60.
No, this would be more like 38 pounds. You'd like to get 38 points, right? For a final 5 points to the nearest 1,000 pounds, how much would that same individual weigh in the sun? Think about it. The individual weighing 100 pounds on Earth.
8 million.
No, this is something. 2,789 pounds. An awful lot. That's right before they evaporate, I presume. But at any rate, you got 5 points on a tough question. Ganus. We have another face-off. We're going for a lanyard for 30. The Invincible Louisa is a biography for children written by Cornelia Meigs. For 10 points, about whom is this book written? As a hint, she herself was a writer for children.
Bonnabel cousins.
Louisa May Alcott.
That's correct. Louisa May Alcott. Picked up another 10 points. You trail now by only 25, and here's a lanyard of 30. So theoretically, you could go ahead. Of all the musical families in history, perhaps none is so distinguished as the Bach family. For 10 points apiece, identify the following Bachs. First, the progenitor of the clan, a Thuringian violinist known as the Player.
Johann Sebastian.
No, this was Hans Bach, was the Player. Second, his great-grandson, the giant of the family and one of the greatest composers of all time.
Johann Sebastian.
That was Johann Sebastian Bach. Finally, his great-grandson's son, or in turn his son, who wrote cantatas, oratios, oratorios, symphonies, passion music, and 2 volumes of sonatas.
Sebastian.
Now, this was Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach. However, you picked up 10 more points, Bonnabel, and you now trail by 15 points. Here we go with another face-off. We're leading up to a lanyard of 30. Scores Ganus 140, Bonnabel 125. She was the widow of a king, the mother of an exile king, and the mother-in-law of a reigning monarch.
Bonnabel Lima.
Eleanor Aquitaine.
No, I'm afraid that's incorrect. We'll repeat for Ganus. She was a widow of a king, the mother of an exile king, and the mother-in-law of a reigning monarch. She died a week ago following minor surgery. For 10 points, who was she? Anyone? Queen Frederica of Greece. Another face-off, a generic term for alcoholic spirits is liquor. A sweet alcoholic distillation, often called a cordial, generally drunk after dinner, is a liqueur. For a quick 10 points, spell liqueur.
Ganus Staves.
Liqueur.
No, I'm afraid not.
Bonnabel cousins.
Liqueur.
No, I'm afraid not. Judge, we're going to have to check on this. You spelled it Liqueur.
No.
E-U-R.
That is correct.
That is correct. I had an extra U in the card here, and I was looking at this all through it. I believe Mr. Staves is correct. Liqueur.
E-U-R, yes.
No, you left out one U. Sorry. There's too many U's in there. I'm going to have to go to trifocals next time. Here's a face-off. We're leading up to a lanyard for 30. The correct spelling, by the way, is Liqueur. The face-off for a quick 10 points. What is the value of 3 to the 4th power?
Bonnabel cousins.
81.
Correct. 10 points, Bonnabel. Trailing now by 140 to 130. Here's a lanyard for 30 points. The study of history is replete with famous rivers. For 10 points each, identify these. First, the river that formed the Grand Canyon.
Colorado River.
That's correct for 10. For 10 more, the river crossed by Caesar when he said the die is cast.
Tiber.
No, he crossed the Rubicon. Finally, the river discovered by Hernando de Soto.
Mississippi.
It was the Mississippi. You picked up 20 points, and you've gone ahead, Bonnabel, 150 to 140. But a very close game. Here's another face-off. It's leading up to a lanyard of 20 teams. For a quick 10 points, tell me the name of the first man to resign from the vice presidency of the United States.
Ganus Thornhill.
Nixon.
No, I'm afraid that's incorrect.
Bonnabel Quark.
Mr. Quark?
Agnew.
No, this was John C. Calhoun. John C. Calhoun. All right. Another face-off. For 10 points, tell me which major college basketball team currently has the nation's...
Bonnabel Lima.
Oregon.
No, I'm afraid that's incorrect. We'll repeat for Ganus. For 10 points, tell me which major college basketball team currently has the nation's longest winning streak. Anyone?
Ganus Staves.
Virginia.
That's right, University of Virginia. 23 games. You picked up 10 and gone ahead 150, 145. Here's a chance to pad the lead with 20 points of lanyard. Some vitamins, Ganus, are water-soluble, and some are fat-soluble. For 5 points apiece, name the fat-soluble vitamins.
E.
Continue.
A.
Any more?
B.
E, A.
B.
Okay, we'll have to draw a line in there. Vitamins A, D, E, and K. You picked up 2. 10 more points, Clifton Ganus. We have another face-off. We're going for a lanyap now of 30 points potentially. These two units of electrical measurement are not only reciprocal to each other, they're also anagrams of one another. Anagrams of one another. One is a unit of electrical conductance and the other is a unit of electrical resistance. For 10 points, what are these
Ganus,
two units?
Thornhill.
Ohm and Mo.
Correct. Ohm and Mo. M-H-O and O-H-M. Your lanyap is a clue type. If you can correctly identify the person I'll describe after one clue, it's 30 points. 20 points if it takes 2, 10 points if it takes you all 3. First clue. Born in 1923, he served as a United States astronaut from 1959 to 1969, and on October 3rd, 1962, he circled the Earth 6 times in Sigma 7. Who was he for 30 points?
Shepard.
No, I'm afraid that's incorrect, but another clue for 20 points. He took part in the first space rendezvous, December 15th, 1965, when he and Thomas Stafford guided Gemini 6 to within 1 foot of Gemini 7. Now, can you tell me who was he?
Grissom.
Nope. Okay, number 3 for 10 points. He also commanded Apollo 7, the first U.S. spacecraft to carry 3 men.
Aldrin.
Any idea?
Aldrin.
No, we're about to go through the astronaut corps here, but it's difficult at this point, since John Glenn and Armstrong and so on, to tell who was who. Walter Schirra was the name of this man. Walter Schirra, sometimes overlooked. All right, another face-off. We're going for a lanyap at 25 points. For a quick 10, tell me where the last major rail passenger terminal dedicated in the United States is located. The last one dedicated.
Bonnabel, Lima.
Atlanta.
No, afraid not. Ganus, can you take it?
Ganus, Staves.
Detroit.
No, it's in New Orleans. It's in New Orleans. All right, another face-off. There was an important year in world history. This was. In this year that I want you to identify, the Communist Manifesto was written by Marx and Engels.
Bonnabel.
1848.
Right on the nose. 1848 it was. Mexican War ended. Hungary declared independence. German unification called for. Picked up 10 points. Trailing by 15, a lanyap at 25 coming up. All right, Bonnabel. Strange bedfellows make strange movies. Take Popeye as a case in point. For 5 points each, name the creator of the comic strip, Popeye, the producer of the movie, Popeye, the director of the movie, and the actors who play Popeye on Olive Oil. 5 points for each. Okay, let's start with the comic strip.
Otto Saglo.
Otto Saglo.
Could you spell it?
I like to delegate its cousins.
Otto Saglo. S-O-G-L-O-W.
No, I'm afraid you've got another strip. It's Segar, S-E-G-A-R. Saglo created another comic strip. All right, producer of the movie.
Altman.
That's right. He was a co-producer, actually. All right, director. So director was Altman, and the judge says Evans was the producer. So we've got 2 more. Actors. Popeye, Olive Oil. Who portrayed Popeye? Who portrayed Olive Oil?
Williams and Duvall.
You're correct in both counts. Robin Williams and Shelley Duvall. You picked up 10 more points. Bonnabel. Again, to clarify, the producer of the movie, Altman was not co-producer. He was director, along with Jules Pfeiffer. Robert Evans was the producer. We have another face-off. You're tied 170 all. We're leading up now to a lanyap of 30. For 10 points now, tell me, teams, from what famous novel by Dickens does this quotation come? There were a king with a large jaw and a queen with a plain face on the throne of
Bonnabel,
England.
Spiza.
A Tale of Two Cities.
You're correct. The Tale of Two Cities for 10 points. Leads you up now to a lanyap of 30 points. You've broken the tie, leading by 10. There are 3 parishes in Louisiana, Bonnabel, whose names begin with the letter B. B for 10 points apiece. Name them. There are only 3 in Louisiana that begin with B. You get 10.
Beauchamp.
What was that?
Beauchamp.
All right. Our Bossier. Come on.
Baton Rouge Parish.
Continue. One more.
Barataria.
No, it's Beauregard, Bienville, and Bossier. And you've got 10 more points. Bonnabel putting you ahead by 20. We have another face-off. We're going for a lanyap now at 20 points. For 10 points, name the musical term which means accenting weak or unimportant beats or
Bonnabel
parts of
Court.
beats.
Syncopation.
Syncopation is the term for 10 points. Bonnabel going for a lanyap at 20. The latest edition of Bartlett's Quotations has been updated with more than 450 quotations from modern songwriters, hipsters, activists, politicians, and movie stars. For 5 points each, tell me who said the following. First, the baseball player who said, "The game isn't over until it's over."
Yogi Berra.
That's right. Who else? The 19th century U.S. writer and humorist who said, "Always do right. This will gratify some people and astonish the rest."
Mark Twain.
Correct. The former president who said, "When the president does it, that means it is not illegal."
Nixon.
Correct. And finally, the former college professor and advocate of LSD who said, "Turn on, tune in, drop out."
Timothy Leary.
You've got them all for 20 points. Bonnabel. We got another face-off. We're going for a lanyap of 30 points. This one word is both the name of a model of an automobile and the name of a large, tawny brown member of the cat family with a long, slender body and a long tail.
Cousins. Cougar.
Cougar is correct for 10 points. Found from Canada to Patagonia. That leads you into a lanyap of 30 points. It seems everybody has a nickname, especially people of notoriety, and would not get into that one, I'm afraid. Got a rather emphatic reaction to the buzzer there. You'll find out why in just a moment. We're going to validate the final score. And then we'll be back in just a moment to announce the winner, the team that moves on into the round of 16 on Varsity Quiz Bowl. Stay tuned.
Public TV performs on Wednesday when Live from Lincoln Center presents an evening of beautiful music. Zubin Mehta conducts the New York Philharmonic and Vladimir Ashkenazy in an evening of works by Strauss, Beethoven, and a world premiere by American composer George Walker. An especially great performance live from Lincoln Center Wednesday on Public TV.
Well, it's official, ladies and gentlemen. The final score today is Bonnabel 230, Ganus 170. Bonnabel High is the winner, and Bonnabel advances now to the third round. Congratulations, Bonnabel High School. A very impressive comeback. In fact, that was one of the most exciting comebacks I think we've had all year long in terms of being behind at halftime and even into the second half. Ganus, you have an outstanding team. I know you don't feel too good at this point, having lost this game after being ahead so long. But we know that, who's going to be back, by the way, again? Show of hands. We got two players, two very good players. We'll see next year. Clifton, Ganus. Good to have you with us. In our elimination tournament game plan, today's winner, Bonnabel, will be back in April to meet the winner of the game between Sacred Heart and Morgan City tomorrow. That'll be round 3 of Varsity Quiz Bowl. We hope to see you tomorrow. Sacred Heart and Morgan City play. Goodbye, everyone.
The questions on Varsity Quiz Bowl are prepared and authenticated by the WIS editorial research staff and known only in advance to the quizmaster, producer, judge, and researcher. All 64 schools participating in our year-long tournament are matched by blind draw. Selections of team members and methods of preparation are the sole responsibility of the schools and their coaches. The preceding program was made possible by a grant from Pan American Life Insurance Company.